Have you been struggling with the English language? And you've kind of decided that you want to put an end to this struggle and become fluent before the start of 2026? If yes is your answer, this is your video. I know this. Most of the learners are so confused as to what the best or the fastest way of learning English is. And I also agree that learning a language is a process, one that is of trial and error. You have to be experimentative. You have to fail and learn from your failures. Something that the word experimentative reminds me about my journey is that I have experimented a lot. So I definitely have some stake on this subject. I can tell you for a fact that unless you have tried several methods, failed, and learned, you just cannot make use of the best techniques and the best people available on hand. You need to be experimentative. And I've been so with a capital E, experimentative with a capital E, just pounding. But today, I want to tell you something. From my experience, I have tried to answer many questions for myself and for the wider audience. Questions like, is it even possible to sound like a natural speaker without traveling abroad? Yes, it is. It's a total myth that you have to travel abroad to become an advanced speaker. But this video is not just about myth busting. It is also about solving the real problem. What method should you actually employ to get to the goal in the fastest and the most effective way possible? In this video, let me help you figure out your best method for learning English and becoming fluent before the end of this year in just 2 simple steps. In the first step, we're going to list down the most important and popular methods of learning English. We're going to analyze it point by point. And in the second step, I'll tell you exactly how to do it, because you don't want to over-apply any rules. You know what I'm saying? It can be counterproductive. Let's get started. Let's discuss the first popular method for learning English and rank it. Watching English content from movies, shows, podcasts, other conversation videos, tons and tons of YouTube and Netflix. It is actually a great tool for perfecting your accent, your pronunciation, if your goal is to sound better in terms of the sound of your speech purely, not necessarily the content. You might have a certain accent-related goal in your mind. You might want to sound more Indian, you know what I'm saying? Like a neutralized version of the Indian accent, or maybe the American accent or the British accent. This method is going to help you a lot. It is great for a fast-paced speech because you hear a lot of speakers online who can speak very fast, very quickly, yet very smoothly. It is great for slang, something that is super important in informal conversation. It makes you sound like a natural. And also, the most important point, for the body language and expressions. Nothing can teach you the right body language except for these videos where you see speakers enacting this stuff in real time in these videos. So it is definitely a great way of picking up vocabulary, becoming fluent, but it is kind of short term. And we're going to discuss the limitation. Wait till I unpack that for you. On to the next one. The next one has to be reading. It is an amazing tool to become an impactful and confident speaker. Yes, I say confident with a capital C because you know what? People who read, they know their stats. They know their facts. They know the other people's opinions. They have their own opinions. And when they make their arguments, it's that solid arguments, not the hollow type. Yes, people who read a lot and go on enriching their knowledge, their confidence and fluency are unbreakable. And you can actually hear the difference. It is completely transformative. The final point, I saved it for you. I know you were itching to hear this. Speaking practice, yes, it is the output step of the process. And it is also completely transformative. The most effective the single most time-tested way of learning communication of any kind. Like I said, it is transformative. It takes you from a mere thinker to a speaker, from a mere reader to an orator, from a mere listener to a communicator. Yes, and understand this. It is actually the goal in itself. It is necessarily what you're working for, isn't it? So it is the goal and the means in itself. And that is why, hey, what can I say? It is actually the fastest way to become confident and fluent in a language. You can practice with tutors, with your friends, not work friends though, AI tools, and yes, with yourself, frankly. On to the most important part of the conversation, step 2, ranking the best method for learning English before the end of the year. And the winner is reading. I don't know if you noticed, I said there are some limitations to watching and listening to content and also speaking to people to an extent. But about reading, I did not mention anything like that. First, because it is possible for everybody. There are no limitations whatsoever. And second, very frankly, actually, people who read a lot, they know some secrets about communication that you might not be aware of. So, reading goes on top. Reading, but how? Just 10 pages a day if you are a B1, B2 level speaker. And just 5 if you're just getting started. Though, I want you to read the pages twice. So it would be a total of 10 or 20 pages in a day. You can do the revision in the same sitting, or you can divvy up the time and do it, in 2 different times on the same day. Don't delay it. Don't put it off for another day. That's what I want. Take notes of some phrasal verbs, the rest of the vocabulary. Yes, if you think that there is a word that you'd really be able to use, you can take notes. But I would ask you to focus on phrasal verbs heavily. That's it. Let's go. Let's start reading. Number 2 would be listening. And I'll tell you what. Listening, but in a targeted and active manner. Ask yourself this question. What do you want to sound like? Who do you want to sound like? Do you want to sound more like an Indian, like an American, like a Brit, and like I said earlier, or a mix of the 3? Yes, it's a possibility. And then the simple step. Draw up a short list of just one show and just one podcast and get started. 30 to 40 minutes a day is enough. Binge watching never made anybody a genius speaker. Never made anybody an expert in communication. You know what I'm saying? Moderation is absolutely key when it comes to listening and watching. Finally, speaking practice. I put it at the end, but it is the holy grail of communication. It is the output. You have to practice your English if you want to become fluent. Well, practice. Practice with who? Practice how? I know you don't have any practice buddies. And you're tired practicing with those AI tools. You need exposure. Let me tell you something. I have not had a practice partner for many years in my life too. I figured out a way. And it works for me, even at this level. It will work for you, especially if you are a beginner or an intermediate level speaker. Speak with your own self. You know what I'm saying? When you want to enact that scene from the episode that you just watched, don't hold back. When you want to speak to yourself or debate while showering, don't stop. And when you rehearse your answers before a meeting or a call, it's not bad. Don't let that go. Only increase the time and routinize it. By the way, most people think their best ideas and arguments while showering. It's not a bad thing at all. Everybody does it. You can be your own practice partner only if you decide you're going to be that. Never hold back. I know there are times every single day that you want to talk to yourself. I just want you to embrace that part. You'll see the change within the last 3 or 4 months that we have till the end of this year. The final thing, yes, speaking to AI tools is not so bad. AI speaking partners are actually not bad in the slightest. You can do that, but I just want you to diversify your resources reasonably. Do you know what I mean? Alrighty, there you have it, my friend. 1 part reading, 1 part listening, and 1 part speaking. And you will be there before 2026. If you still have questions, my comment section is open. I'll see you in the next one.